I keep my goals to myself, cause whenever I share it with folks, they get a look upon their face and their memory floats to a time where their goals and the stars ain't...
What's good? It's your boy Jay, that's me. We're going to get into TNA Genesis from January the 17th, 2026. This show was way better than the AMC premiere. That was a total flop. But this was a pretty decent pay-per-view. A good way to start off TNA's 2026. I'm interested in seeing what the rating was for the AMC premiere. I don't know when that would be out. I would assume either Monday or Tuesday of next week. And whenever we go over the TNA review, that's when I'll reveal to you guys the rating for that show. I'm hoping that they can get Collision numbers on a weekly basis. And I think Collision usually does anywhere between like 250 to almost 300,000 almost every week, just about. I don't know. That's just me thinking out loud. But it is what it is. But, I don't watch Collision, so I don't know. But TNA, they're kind of in a rebuilding stage, and they need to be. They lost more talent to AEW, and again, that sucks, but it's fine. I think TNA will be fine. I do think that WWE will definitely help them out by doing some more releases after WrestleMania 42. They're definitely going to be doing some releases for sure. So that's coming for sure. So, we'll have to wait and see how things play out on that end. There were no surprises on this show. Now, apparently, Fuego del Sol, he was on this show. He now has a new name. He now goes by the name of JD Orso. So that's fine. He was on the pre-show. And we'll go over that and we'll talk about the pre-show. I didn't watch it, but the show overall was, okay. So we're going to get into the show. So we're going to go into the pre-show first. So Stacks wins the Fatal 4-Way. He retained the TNA International Championship. He defeated BDE, Brandon Does Everything, Eric Young, and JD Orso, who is Fuego del Sol in AEW. So that's cool there. Moving on from that, the second pre-show match, Tessa Blanchard and Milla Moore defeated Vicious Vicky and Indy Hartwell, which is cool. Then Daria Ray, she came out and said some stuff about Santina Marella, so they're still going to continue that feud. So clearly, they're going to probably get rid of Santino, which makes sense. Santino's been around for about a year and some change now. I am so over the Santino Marella stuff. I'm over it. He was funny when he first came back for the first couple months, but after that, it's gotten old and tiresome. So there's that. So we're going to go ahead and get to the main show from there. Moving on to the main show. First match of the night, AJ Francis defeats Rich Swann. Match was okay. This, however, should have taken place on the AMC premiere, if we're being honest. I think that would have been a better way to... that would have been equally better being on the AMC premiere versus having to watch it as the first match of the show. Again, I like AJ Francis. I think he's bought into the idea of TNA. They'll probably end up re-signing him. He does still work indie dates, but so does Rich Swann. But I'm pretty sure Rich Swann is probably more so bought out on the indies. If we're being honest, he's probably more of an indie guy. So AJ Francis winning here makes perfect sense. He wins via the down payment. So he does the reverse down payment, then he hits the regular down payment for the 1, 2, 3. That's fine. Makes sense. Clearly, they obviously see something in AJ Francis. AJ Francis is fine. He's a great talker, and he's got a really good character. And he's okay in ring at times, and this was one of those times. So, kudos to Rich Swann for being able to bring AJ Francis to a decent pay-per-view match. So, there's that. Moving on from that, this leads us into a backstage segment involving Mike Santana. He was being interviewed by Gia Miller. Mike Santana says that he hopes that Frankie Kazarian brings it tonight. Mike Santana said that he thanks all who congratulated him for winning the world title. Mike Santana called his daughter, said that his daughter called him after he won the title on Thursday night, and he said that he's back. So that's cool there. I do like that. Moving on, this leads us into Mustafa Ali defeating Elijah. He wins via the guitar to the back and a roll-up pin for the 1, 2, 3. That's fine. It makes sense. I think Mustafa Ali should be higher up on the card. He, to me, seems like the number one heel in TNA, which is pretty damn cool. I've always been a fan of Mustafa Ali. I know some people think that he's not World Heavyweight Championship material, but he actually is, especially since TNA is such a small promotion. He's fine as world champion. Again, if Rich Swann could be world champion, so can Mustafa Ali. There's no difference. Mustafa Ali has a really good character, and he can play a really good babyface, but he can also play a really kick-ass heel. And he plays the slimy, cowardly heel very, very well. And hopefully in due time, Mustafa Ali can be TNA World Champion. And I think that he is fully bought into TNA. Thankfully, he re-signed with TNA, which makes perfect sense. And I think TNA is the perfect promotion for him. Same thing with Nic Nemeth. So there's that. Good stuff there. Good stuff. Elijah, I like him as a character. Wrestling, not so much. Moving on, this leads us into The Last Dance, which was JDC's retirement match versus his brother in arms, Eddie Edwards. I didn't watch this match. I didn't give a damn about it, really. I didn't. I'm a fan of the Fashion Police and Fandango when he was doing the Fandango stuff in WWE early on. Like, that caught on massive here in the States. When I think he did the Fandango stuff. Was that in 2010 or 2011? I think it was 2010 when he started doing that. But it got massively over, and that's cool there. Eddie Edwards gets the win via not 1, not 2, but 3 Boston knee parties to put JDC down for the 1, 2, 3. That's a little bit too much, but it is what it is. Post-match, Eddie Edwards said something to JDC. The rest of the system, they come out and they embrace JDC. So then in the locker room, they come out on the rampway and they applaud him. So, and then Alicia Edwards gives JDC a kiss on the cheek. So, there's that. And then JDC kisses the ring mat, which is cool. So I do like that. Makes sense. Interesting stuff. I'm interested in seeing what they do on this upcoming Impact. Who's going to be his replacement? It could be it could be his tag team partner, Tyler Breeze. I know he's in WWE, but we haven't seen him in months, so they might end up, bringing him in. So I don't know who else it could be. I hope it's not Matt Taven. If it's Matt Taven, I'm going to be pissed as a motherfucker. If it's Matt Taven, I am going to be pissed as fuck. I truly am. I truly am. So hopefully it's going to be Tyler Breeze. Moving on from that, this leads us into Ryan Nemeth versus Mara Sade. Ryan Nemeth defeats Mara Sade. He cheats to win the match. Didn't really watch it. I kind of wish that TNA would move away from these intergender matches. You're not on the indies. You are the number 3 wrestling promotion in all of North America. You should act like it. And, it is what it is. Who cares? Mara Sade did look pretty good in the match, from what I can tell. But, this was a waste of time. This was dumb as shit. I do think that, however, Mara Sade should be chasing the Knockouts title versus Indy Hartwell. Let's just be honest. Indy Hartwell ain't shit, and she's not. Ever since she had that bad match with Tessa Blanchard back at Slammiversary, I have lost all respect for Indy Hartwell. That match was just awful. Absolutely awful. Oh my gosh. Moving on from that, we get a vignette involving Saxon, Ariana, and Grace. They just basically badmouth Santina Marella, whatever. Moving on, this leads us into Li Ying Lee defeating Zarya. Match was pretty okay. I fairly enjoyed it. This was a hard-hitting match. Zarya is a powerhouse, which is great. She got her powerhouse moves in. Same thing with Xia Li. She got her strikes in, which was great. So, towards the end of the match, the Elegance brand, they came out to get involved, but so Ruka and Xia Brookside fought them off. They both ended up doing cross bodies off the top rope to take them out, and then they brawled to the back. And then this allowed for the finish where I think Zarya was going to go for a spear, but Xia Li ended up getting that out of dodge, and she ended up hitting the Warriors Way for the 1-2-3, and that's how she retains. So I do like that. Then post-match, Carlos Silva, he handed the title to Lei Ying Lee, aka Xia Li, and then Cora Jade showed back up. Elena Black, she showed back up, and then she basically wants a shot at Xia Li for the title, which is great. This makes perfect sense. You don't want to rush this match too quickly. I'm guessing whenever the next TNA Plus event is, which should be in February, maybe that's when you kind of hand the title over to Cora Jade. So, because when Xia Li won the title back at Gold Rush, I knew then that she wasn't going to be a champion long term. She's probably, when this is all said and done, she'll probably have a reign of about maybe 45 days at best. Because I think she won, Gold Rush was back in, was that back in November, I think? Or was it in December? I can't remember which. I have to look into it, but she won't have the championship too much longer. So, because you want to have Cora Jade establish that title, right? So, yeah. Moving on. This leads us into a backstage segment involving Nic Nemeth. He just talks about the TNA World Heavyweight Championship match and him being a special guest referee. Who cares? Moving on, this leads us into the Hardys. They defeated the Righteous, Vincent and Dutch. This match was okay, but I kind of wish this match would have taken place on the AMC premiere, if we're being honest. And towards the end of the match, the Hardys are beating up Vincent and Dutch. So Vincent tells Matt that he's sorry. So, whatever reason. Then Dutch is on the outside laid out, and he gets on the mic and says that we're not done with the Hardys just yet. And I'm like, what the hell? So Matt hits the Twist of Fate. Then he tags in Jeff. Jeff hits the Swanton for the 1-2-3, and that's how the Hardys retain the championships. I am over the Righteous. I'm over the Righteous. The Hardys have to be feuding with a better tag team. I don't know who that could be, but we don't need to have another Hardys and the Righteous match. We don't need to see that anymore. Like, this shouldn't need a second match. I'm over and done with it. Unless it's going to be a match that takes place on television, I'm fine with. But we don't need like another pay-per-view match involving the Righteous. We just don't. We really don't. So I don't know. And there's not really any tag teams running around worthwhile. So whatever. Moving on. Leon Slater was on the show. So we saw him, footage of him competing on SmackDown this past Friday. So Leon Slater was shown in a video. He said that he apologizes for not being able to make it tonight, and he thanks Joe Hendry for taking his place. He says, as for the exhibition title match that would take place tonight, he did say that Cedric Alexander and Moose will get their title shots. So I'm guessing they still are going to do the triple threat match. So at some point, they'll do that. So whatever. Leonard Asper, he was there. The CEO of Anthem, he was there. So, wow. That's a shocker. Along with Carlos Silva. So there's that. So whatever. Who cares? This leads us into the triple threat match. Joe Hendry defeats Moose and Cedric Alexander. The match was pretty okay. Moose ended up getting injured about 5 minutes in the match. He ended up landing awkwardly on the steel steps, and he was out for a little bit. He was able to come back to. The match broke down some more. Moose hit a massive spear, and Cedric Alexander kicked out. Cedric hit the lumbar check. Moose kicked out. And then Joe Hendry snuck up from behind. He hit the standing ovation chokeslam onto Cedric for the 1-2-3. And that was the match. So this was fine, I guess. The crowd was into this, but I really wasn't all that invested in it. Why? Because there was nothing on the line. It was just an exhibition match. So, yeah. But this is fine, I guess. But it seems like to me they might turn Cedric Alexander heel, which to me would make sense. So they might turn him heel at some point in time. It seems like they are going to slowly turn him heel. And he could be the one to dethrone Leon Slater at some point in time. But they'll probably end up letting Leon have a long reign as champion. So I'm guessing, I want to say by Rebellion, which is in April, I would say by that time they'll probably end up wanting Leon Slater to cough up the Exhibition Championship and put over Cedric Alexander. So, we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. Moving on from that. So, Santino Marella, he shows up, and he's talking about the main event. He wanted the panel to talk about, to give their predictions on who's going to win the Texas Death Match. Daria Ray comes out, which is great. And she doesn't allow Tommy Dreamer to give his prediction, which is great, which is hilarious. She calls him Little Tommy. So she tells production to roll the tape, and then the fans tell her to shut the fuck up. So, there's that. Main event of the evening, Mike Santana wins. He retains the TNA World Championship against Frankie Kazarian. This was fine. So what they ended up doing is you had to get you had to pin your opponent 1, 2, 3 to get a count to start. So they basically brawled in the back for a little bit at first. They brawled around ringside and stuff with steel chairs and kendo sticks and all that jazz. Towards the middle of the match, Mike Santana hit a pile driver through 2 chairs to take out Frankie Kazarian. Frankie ended up getting up at like a 6 or 7 count or whatever. Frankie ended up pinning Mike Santana. Mike Santana was able to get to his feet at like a 5 or 6 count or whatever. And then the finish came when Mike Santana went on top of the ladder and hit a swanton to take out Frankie Kazarian. Frankie was able to kick out of that. Then the finish finally came when Mike Santana got a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire. He put that around his hand, ended up hitting the spin the block. He got the 3 count, and then Kaz could not get back to his feet at the count of 10, so Mike Santana retains. Post-match, Carlos Silva showed up, and he gave the title to Mike Santana. Then Nic Nemeth hit him with a danger zone. Nic Nemeth was about to grab the collar shot trophy. He wanted a referee to come down. The referee came down too slow. Just allowed for Mike Santana to hit the spin of the block, and then that was it. So it makes sense. Mike Santana still remains champion. I do like this. This makes sense. Clearly, Mike Santana is not going to lose the title just yet. We don't know when he's going to lose the title. We really don't. But it is what it is. I like this. I'm hoping that Braun Strowman or EC3 at some point shows up and confronts Mike Santana. Because once Mike Santana beats Nic Nemeth, who else do you have? You don't have any other competitors for Mike Santana to feud with. Mike Santana is the most, he's your top babyface. You could do Mike Santana and Mustafa Ali, but you've already done that. They had a feud last year, so you don't want to really kind of revisit that again. So I don't know. But they need help in the main event scene. They really do. And again, hopefully, like I said before, hopefully Braun Strowman and EC3 will show up and maybe be added to the main event scene. I think that would be great. As long as neither of them do the control your narrative stuff. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. But this was an okay pay-per-view. And what did you guys think of the show? Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.